Hi everyone, welcome back to Wander Freely. We are doing another campground comparison. I really don't like to do campground reviews, but I do like to do comparisons so you can see what you get. Because really, it's just like everything else in life. You get what you pay for, and different areas offer different things. There are pluses and minuses to every campground you come across. But we like to do these comparisons just so you can see what you can expect on the road. But keep in mind, especially if you're a full-time RVer or if you're doing a long-term trip, you can do pretty much anything for 2 nights. You can handle it, okay? So you're always moving on. You're gonna move on to the next place. These aren't a huge commitment. So if you have times where you want to save some money or you're in a very, very remote area, don't worry, you're gonna move on from there. It's gonna get better. So let's check this out. The first stop is going to be in Salt Lake City, Pony Express RV Resort. And that is about, I think it's about 7 to 8 miles to the center of town where like the Salt Palace and that area is. So it's a very, very conveniently located RV park for visiting Salt Lake City. Pony Express is also one of the RV campgrounds that's part of a bigger kind of network of campgrounds that are called Highway West. And that, we've stayed at those a few times. All that means is that they're part of something a little bit bigger, so you won't have quite as much local contact as you do at some of the smaller, more family-owned RV parks, but you will be able to take, you're going to benefit from having some of the bigger amenities that maybe aren't available at some of the smaller parks. Just so you can get a feel for this, they have long rows of campers here, really nice pull-through sites for a lot of them, with an extra space. You can see how this extra space is here for parking your vehicle, which is always very, very nice, and you don't always get that in a campground. But we can actually, since ours is smaller, we can fit our truck in the main pad, and we had that extra pad too. Nice picnic table everywhere. You get a little bit of a green space. You're not totally on top of each other here, which is nice. You can see a lot of people, we're getting ready to pack up and leave, but a lot of people, there's some empty spaces. We have been shocked at how many people would empty out of here every day, and then it fills right back up. So this is a pretty popular campground here in Salt Lake City. The scenery is just lovely around here near Salt Lake City. It's just beautiful every angle that you look through the campground from. And we've seen a lot, there's been a whole mix of types of campers here, from the Class A's to fifth wheels to everything in between. And we even had some sort of meeting of a bunch of Airstreams where there must have been like 15, they must have known each other as they all parked together. So there were like 15 Airstreams here at one time. It was really cute. Then we have the basketball, horseshoes, plenty of things to do here as well. You see we have a really lovely community room with a full kitchen. They have coffee and stuff here, tea, all kinds of stuff, and you're welcome to use the kitchen. You can see Chris has found a nice spot. A little bit of sports while I'm doing this. Chris? Pool table, lots of fun stuff to do for free, and what's nice is when you're at an RV campground, you don't own it, so you don't have to take care of it. Let's check out the pool real quick. All kinds of stuff here. Bikes to rent, these kind of bikes, they have regular bikes to rent for the bike path. And here's the pool. There is a really beautiful walking or biking trail. You can rent bikes here as well. I know you all love to see what the bathrooms are like, so here are the restrooms. They are individuals with an actual shower. This campground is gated, which we have seen at several different campgrounds. A nice thing about this gate was that instead of giving us an arbitrary number that we had to remember to get back in, they programmed the gate to respond to the last 4 digits of our phone number. That made it much easier to remember, and that was unique. We have not had that at any other campgrounds. Let's take a look at the Pony Express map. You can see the gate was up here where you enter, and then a lot of the amenities here at the front, but you can see that this is just a massive campground. And also that trail along the creek, or it's called the Jordan River, is accessed right from the RV park, so it's very, very convenient, and you can go in either direction. We did have decent internet here. Most of the time it was pretty fast. There were a few times when it was being heavily used that it did slow down a bit, but otherwise we were really happy with the internet. This campground is also conveniently located right off of 215, which is kind of like the beltway, I would call it, around Salt Lake City. It's also near the junction with 15 as well, so it's a nice location for a campground. And although the 215, which is a major highway, was running near it, we didn't really notice any noise from it. Probably if you're staying at that end of the campground you would, so if that's something that bothers you when you make your reservation, you might want to ask about that. We are just leaving the campground and you can see a little bit of Salt Lake City there off in the distance, and the Wasatch Mountains, just gorgeous. And we are headed to Wyoming. Here we are at the Red Desert Rose Campground, right off of Route 80 in kind of the middle of Wyoming. I think it's kind of the middle, maybe a little bit to the west. But this is a much smaller campground. It's a lot of full-time people. It seems to be a lot of men, working men, and also some young families as well. But then there's quite a few people that are just traveling through Wyoming on 80, and they're staying over here too. Here you can see the park map, where they also show a mini golf course and a playground and horseshoes and a puppy park. Rawlins is a nice stop on Route 80 as you travel, but they also have a lot of different area attractions and things to do that are both some that are historical, some that are just unique, and some that are just to give you a chance to enjoy the outdoors. And if you look down that list there, you'll see Independence Rock. That's something that was on the Oregon Trail. Here is something I love about the smaller family-run campgrounds. It is the local charm. They look like they belong, and you really get a good feel for the area. Some campgrounds have a book exchange where you can drop off a book and take a new one with you on your travels. It is a great option for Chris because he likes the Tom Clancy, James Patterson style books, and they can usually be found at these exchanges. Also, here's a look at the laundry facilities. This is the kind of treatment that you can expect at the smaller campgrounds that are more kind of family owned. I mean, how cute is that? The heart of cowboy country. Now, Chris and I have stayed in a lot of campgrounds, probably hundreds, all over the country, but this is the very first time that we have seen a courtesy vehicle. And it is here for the guests to be able to use if they don't want to unhook. They can especially, I think that'd be especially helpful for Class A's if you're towing a small vehicle behind you, but you're just here for the night, you want to go get something to eat for dinner or need to get to the grocery store or pick something up in town, but you don't want to unhook completely. They have a courtesy vehicle that is at your disposal and you may use it, so that's really nice. A really nice feature that we have definitely never seen before. Well, that is a quick look at 2 different campgrounds. Hope it gives you more insight on what campground life is like. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.